Alright, hello everyone, welcome to Common Soulution. I'm your host, Jasper Haas, and today in this video I'm gonna talk about purpose. What is our purpose of life? So let me start out with a quote that Immortal Technique, who is one of my biggest inspirations, told. Um, life with a purpose. The purpose of life is life with a purpose. So I'd rather die for a cause to live a life that is worthless. So some people, they don't stand for anything. They don't found their purpose yet. So they will fall for everything because they don't know really where to go towards. In the previous video, I talked about orientation because it all like ties in together beautifully. Um, we need to find our purpose. Like I know for myself that my purpose has to do with healing. I've been sick in half of my life, struggling with irritable bowel syndrome. So I know that hygiene and eating well and also sporting and but also more importantly my own mental state and becoming aware why am I sick, and it's been quite a journey healing myself, but I know that this is my purpose because it's not healing myself but it's healing and each other. So I know how to heal myself. It's not a universal layout that they can give to anyone else, but it's healing in its own way, and yeah, like I know that this is part of my destiny is to heal and teach other people to heal themselves. uh, this is also what draws me towards psychology and uh, I always most want to say psychedelics because psychedelics as well, but also philosophy integrating lessons, and by this we can really know where our sickness come from because we think we have our own sickness and we're healing ourselves, but it's actually healing is something that we do together. It's becoming whole. Heal, whole stems from the same word. Uh, we have to become whole again. We have to integrate. This is the healing journey. And the quicker we heal, the quicker or the more people join our healing process, the quicker we heal. Because if we're doing healing by ourselves, it will take a long time. And people are always looking for quick fixes for ways that they can see that they don't have to put in the work to really heal themselves because it requires a lot of different things. Something that I've learned from the Incan tradition, which I do want to make a documentary about some of the concepts that they have, is the Aini. Aini is an energy in reciprocity. I already talked in this and about this in one of our podcasts. So check that out. I will link it in. But it is very important because we interchange our energy on a daily basis. And there's two forms of energy. There's Sami, which is more light energy. So if you're in nature, this will be that you will be experiencing is very, you don't even notice it. Like it's just so natural, and yeah, like you're just flowing in a natural state. But we have humans, we have a capability which they call hucha. This is resisting natural forces and creating complexes, which we call in psychology, creating about thinking about things so intensely and so longly that we create a lot of issues in our mind because we as humans we have the unique capability to hold on suffering or fear, even though it might not physically be any reason for holding on to it, because we are able to uh, look into the future and tap into the past. We are always like anxious or fearful that the same thing will happen in the future that did in the past. But there, like I said in the previous one, there's nothing to fear. Only if there's a bear standing in front of you or a lion, you have the right to be fearful at that moment. But as long as the threat is gone, you don't have a reason to fear anything. Um, and also, like a lot of people in this situation don't want to make it too relevant in the sense that about the pandemic, but it speaks in all times. Like we're all like afraid of death, um, because we identify ourselves with being our body. Um, and this like sounds a little bit new agey for a lot of people, uh, because like what I in my philosophy I'm paralogical, so that means that it's a paradox. Like sure we're not our bodies, but at the same time we experience ourselves as being a body. Um, so we're both in the same. Like we're a body, but we're not our body. So when we die, it is not that we our consciousness is also paralyzed or gone, but it continues. Maybe not in forms that we understand. I haven't died myself. Well, I have died in having ego deaths twice by doing DMT or also by meditation. But it's not the same thing than really dying. There are some similarities, of course, but um that is definitely not something to fear. Like that's something that I draw from those psychedelic experiences is that we are not our body. What we are is something that I cannot put into words. People have different names for it, but it's a state of like eternal love. People call it unconditional love in the New Age, which is there are some conditions that need to arise first before you can experience this love. So I don't wouldn't I did use it in the past this term, but now that I've done more research and trying to better describe what I experienced, it's not this. It's not an unconditional love. It's eternal. It's a love that you cannot get from any person here on earth. Maybe not even your mother might come close, but it is something that goes beyond with all of us. And in this I trust. So even if I die, I know that I will return to this state, which is man. I like I can logically more understand if people have a fear for living life than dying, because dying will actually relieve us from a lot of pain that we suffer during our life. So for me, like living is more difficult than going back to that state. Um, Not that I'm looking forward to my death, because I have many things to do, many things to complete before I die. But at the same time, if I would die in 5 minutes from now, um, I will be okay with that because I did what I could and I lived a lot according to my heart. Of course, I can always become a better person, and there's many things that I don't know if I regret it, but I could have made different decision and it would turn out totally different for sure. But things turn out the way they do, and I'm really appreciative. I'm really grateful um, for those experiences. That's something that is also I should mention. Like the state of gratitude is very very important that you have every day. That's what I do before sleep. You don't have to really be a religious person to really be grateful. You can think of many things that you can be grateful for. It doesn't matter in what situation you are. But yeah, when I like lay in my bed, I think about things that I'm grateful for. There's that keeps me in a state of constant flow, and there's many things that happen during my life which I'm really grateful for. But it's only because I appreciate it as much, and that doesn't mean that I don't have any difficulties, of course. But even for that, I'm grateful because otherwise life would be boring if I didn't have any challenges. So yeah, no, life is a beautiful thing if we appreciate it that way, especially if we're in nature or appreciating small things. And that's what we really need to learn to do. And it could be part of our purpose as well. Be appreciative of what's happening right now. Right now you can hear around me some birds. I'm sitting in the sun. Life can be very simple, but you can appreciate it as simple as this. Just sitting in the sun and can express my mind and on this video. And I don't know what else. What bigger person purpose do I have? Well, I think like the biggest purpose is giving service, and this video is a part of my purpose is to hopefully spark you with some healing. I can speak more directly on a personal basis if you require any healing. Um, But if I have to speak in general, like I do right now, I can make some guidelines. But healing is a path that everyone steps differently. But I do think that food is a very important key. Diet, I mean with that, but it's not just diet. It's holistic. It's integrative. So it's also your psychological health. Do you set up boundaries? How do you interact with other people? Do you love them even though they might not love you back? These are all things that will spark your healing and being grateful, like I mentioned before. Also, what type of movements do you do to process your being? Yoga or martial arts, or it can be just football. It can be just like me skateboarding. I also do practice martial arts. Um, but for me, like spirituality is like being ready for take on anything, because anything can happen. Right now, I'm sitting in the sun, which I'm grateful for. But maybe somebody in 5 minutes will rob me, whatever. But I'm prepared to take on everything. Because if you have that mentality, and then the possibility that it doesn't happen is much bigger. And even if it does, you're prepared for it, so you know what to do. And so I feel very comfortable. And out of this comfortability, you can expand your mind and you can look into more subtle forms of reality. And you can spark other people to look more deeper into reality as well. And that's what I've been trying to do for my most of my life. But one of very important key is stay curious. Just ask questions. You will not get anywhere. You don't even won't be able to heal yourself if you don't ask questions, because you have to find out why you're sick. Why do you feel a certain sickness? What is it trying to tell you about yourself? What is something you have to address? If you don't ask questions, then you're in a closed state because you already know everything, or you assume that you already know everything. So I just ask questions, and I love asking questions, and that is something that in right now I have to learn to do more, is asking questions towards other people, but especially about myself. What is some things that I need to do to provide more healing for myself? And it's quite a journey. It's we always expect instant results, but it's not happening like that, unfortunately. It requires a lot of discipline, a lot of motivation, a lot of dedication. But there's many different aspects that come into play, and only in this beautiful symphony we can heal. And a very important uh, element is art. If you have an artistic expression, that could be part of your purpose. For me, like I see teaching as an art form, and I love to have the challenge being able to teach something which is difficult to do. So for me, that is a form of therapy. But it's also skateboarding. It's for me like part of my purpose, but it is more like a hobby. It's I like it doing it, and I like to like look at what my limitations, what I can do with a board, and yeah, just taking the courage to try new tricks, and always like using my imagination. But I know that my highest purpose is to give service. And it's not just service to others, because like other people will say, can you help me with this, and can you give me some food, for example, and you'll give them some food, but tomorrow they'll ask you again. So service requires certain things. Maybe in another video I will talk about this more deeper. But I give service to the whole, to the truth. So I have a responsibility to speak the truth, to express the truth, to live the truth, and also integrating whatever parts that are coming from me or coming from other people and synthesizing them together. I think this is part of my purpose. And there are some similarities crossing over to other people that have similar purposes. But overall, I cannot tell somebody else what their purpose is. They have to find it out for themselves. For you, it might be enjoying yourself. There's a person I've met here. Won't you mention any name? But she said that she had depression in the past, and her purpose is to enjoy life. But she said, no, no, doesn't make sense. Uh, uh, why would I? Why would my life be about enjoyment if I had a depression? Well, you don't know joy if you don't know the other side. You don't know if you didn't have an depression, you wouldn't be able to enjoy yourself because you don't know the difference. But there's many different ones. It could be something you have to fight for, a purpose you have to fight for, and then getting up strength, just fitnessing, blah, 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 like empowering yourself. That could be a purpose. But ultimately, I think the highest form of purpose is service, giving service. And it might include yourself, it might include others, it might include animals, it might include just leaves or a tree or whatever. Beings. It might be even beings that we don't even perceive with our normal physical eyes. But it's just a state of service and remaining open to all possibilities, and then we'll see what falls on our path because many crazy things happen. Many crazy things happen. So, I hope you guys like this video. It's not that super long, I guess. There's a podcast coming out soon with Cheered his friend. Yeah, stay tuned for all the things that are coming. Comment Soulution. What do you think of this series? I guess it's more personal, more intimate. I can speak more directly. People get to know what my vision is on things. Currently, I'm writing a lot in my book. Uh, yeah, there's crazy stuff. Crazy stuff is happening for sure. Yeah, no, I'm trying to make it more appealing, I guess, because this is more like a monologue, and people are like very difficult to hold their attention to a certain point for a longer time, unless they are really uh, inspired or really they really want to be engaged or learning. So I'm trying to like get you guys more engaged in the content. So if you guys have any suggestions in coming, because this is common solution, I can talk about many different things, but um, this could be just my solution, but I'm trying to just find a common solution. So if you have something to bring in that you want me to talk about, feel free to share. I'm really like love hearing your perspective, and also yeah, some questions that you guys have you want me to talk on, because we can only do this together. That's the main thing. That's what I said in the previous video. What do you think is your purpose? That is a good question to think about. And if you want to, you can share that and put it in the comment section. I would love to read those. And yeah, stay tuned. And if you want to help me out financially, I have my own website, like I told before in my previous common solution. So you can donate there, and yeah, Discord is there where you can talk with me or other people that were on this platform or are connected in some way there. And yeah, Spotify, YouTube, we're on all platforms. And let me end by saying eternal love, and I hope you people find your purpose and think about what your purpose is, because this was the only thing that will give your life meaning. So, eternal love.